So good morning. I am going to be talking to you a little bit about my first 2 weeks at AG BOLC. So AG stands for Adjutant General. You are basically human resources for the Army. And I'm kind of salty because I was like talking and recording while I was doing my hair, and then I hit delete by accident. So I'll just give you a brief little thingy. If you have thick hair or curly hair, and like sometimes you get that hump right here, if you part your hair in like two, so like from this ear to this ear, you mold it down and you make one low ponytail, and then you style the front and like another ponytail, and then you, I guess, do your ponytail because that's a thing now. But I take a sock, I cut the toe off, and then I fold it over onto itself and make a donut, as my mom calls it. I'm going to slick this down and put my scarf on before I go to class. I just didn't want to come on camera talking to y'all with no scarf on. So you are going to do land nav because it's the Army. Yikes. And you are going to do weapons quals while you're here. You are going to go to the field. You're going to write memos. You have like 6 writing assignments, I believe, and then like 4 or 5 briefings. So you're going to get comfortable with public speaking because when you move up and you are the S1, you're briefing to the commander. You're briefing to the brigade commander, you're briefing to the battalion commander. So get comfortable speaking, and they start that here at school. And also writing. My instructor said that it's really hard when people like first get out of college because they use a lot of adjectives and they use a lot of fluff in their writing, and military writing is just like straight to the point. So and they're going to teach you all of this here. Like, they understand that you're not going to be an expert. They kept telling us, make your mistakes here. It's better to make your mistakes here while someone is able to like train you and kind of correct it than making it in front of your commander. Make sure that you kind of know your regs. You're not going to know everything. Like they kept saying, they're like, you're not going to know everything when you leave out of here. It's only 12 weeks. Like, the Army's been around for a long time, and some of these regs change like constantly. So just knowing where to go to find stuff, knowing how to find stuff. And it's okay to tell people like, sir, ma'am, I don't know right now, but I'll get back to you with an answer at this time or by this time. So you do all your briefings. They tell you what to expect from them and what you can expect. An 80 is, you have to get an 80 or above to pass. So it's not like you can pass with a 75. So you have to give it your best. You have to give it your all. Our first writing assignment is a memo, and that was really hard for me. It's not even due until Friday, but I worked on it like over the weekend and stuff because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Because like, I've seen Army memos, but as far as writing them, it's a little bit different. And there's the instruction for it. And it tells you like everything, how to date it, how to, don't use certain words. You have to use the active voice instead of passive. So just things to consider and think about. And they're going to give you the tools to like look for those things. One thing that I will say, make sure if you can that you have like a month's worth of income to pay your bills in case your finance and stuff is messed up. So we haven't gotten paid yet because we came like at a weird time. So if you get here on like the 3rd or any school on the 3rd, you're not going to get paid on the 15th. That next paycheck, you'll get paid for that time that you were here. But if you don't have your documentation, if you don't have your birth certificates, you don't have your marriage certificates, you don't have your lease or mortgage, you won't be getting all the entitlements that you're entitled to, if that makes sense. So just food for thought. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't like talk about, but it's important. What else? So you'll be broken down into squads. There will be leadership positions. So you'll have a class leader, an XO, like a PT officer, admin officer, an academic officer, I'm sorry, a S1, an S6, a S4, S3. So like all the things, like you're basically running as a company with your class. Don't be a little douche pickle. You know, be as supportive and helpful as you can be, because you might be in that position in the second half of class. And I think as it goes on, it gets harder because they expect more from you. So we PT at like 6 in the morning, and then you have class at like 9 or 9:30. If you don't PT on your own, start before you get here. You'll have an ACFT like 4 weeks after you get here. And so if you know that you're not like a strong runner, or you're not good with leg tucks, or you're not good at something, like for me personally, I do not like the sprint track carry. I hate it. I need to change my mindset about it, but I'm exhausted after I'm done. Somebody told me I was doing it wrong, or like I was attacking it the wrong way, and there's a like method to doing it. I don't know about all that, but I was tired. And then you still have other things to do after that, so I was like, oh my gosh. So just work on those things, because like I said, we didn't do group PT like as a class until week 3. What else? I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. But other than that, like, have a good time, learn as much as you can. And when I say have a good time, I don't mean be partying. Like, this is not the time to relive your college days. It's not the time, because a lot of people mess up here. They keep talking about it, and like you can kind of see like the slippery slope sometimes of people just forgetting that they have responsibilities at home, and you like, you know. So just keep accountability for your classmates. You know, and be a good person. Like, be as helpful as you can, be as supportive as you can, because everybody struggles with different things. So what you might be really good at, somebody else might be struggling, and vice versa. So just get to know your people and be supportive. That is the worst thing, when people just come in and they're like, oh, I know this and da 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 and blah 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 blah, and it's like, then why are you here? You wouldn't be here if you knew everything. Also, they kept telling us, like, if you're prior service, so I'm prior service, but prior service from a different branch. And for me, that's really difficult, because you would think that branches are all the same. They are not. Regulations are very different. Even uniforms, like just like in the Navy, you could have nail polish since I was in originally in like 2009, and now the Army's like, yeah, you can wear nail polish at 2021. Oh, you can have twist in your hair now. Oh, and it's like, so that was hard for me. So a lot of people in my class are prior NCOs, and they tell us all the time, like, don't get stuck in that like NCO or stuck in that enlisted mentality where you're kind of stuck because you don't really know how to operate, because it is a bit different. As an NCO, or like, you know, anything, I don't know about the Air Force, but we didn't really have they weren't called NCOs in the Navy. But you still did the same function. It just wasn't as, I feel like it's really hyped up in the Army. NCOs are like their own little group of individuals, which isn't a bad thing at all. But I know in the Navy, like, officers would correct us, whereas in the Army, not so much. Like, they will, but a lot of times that falls on like the NCO to like for discipline. So don't be bulldozing them and running them over because you're like, oh, if I was the first sergeant, I would do it this way. Oh, if I was like, don't do that. That's failing them. Like, know your place and know your role now, and it's okay to ask them for guidance. That's another thing. Don't be that douchebag officer that's like, I know everything and I'm an officer and I'm better than you. That is the freaking worst. Don't do that, because your people are not going to work for you. One, your people are not going to respect you. Two, like, they'll respect your rank, but they're not going to respect you. So anytime that you ask for something that's like above and beyond or like outside of that scope, they're gonna be looking at you crazy. Just be a good person. Like, just be a good person. I have been on the other side when enlisted and officers are like, oh, I'm better than you because I went to college. I'm like, heifer, I went to college too. I just chose to go this route because I wanted to see. So just be a good person. Just be a good person. I'm going to try and do these weekly to see, but your girl's trying to pass class. So we'll see how that goes. If you have questions, like, please feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm not editing this video. It's just one take and gone. So yeah, I hope you have a great week. A great week. A great week. I'll let y'all know how my memo goes and my military briefing goes. And yeah.